Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome back again to our ever ongoing series on the glories of our most beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Today, I'd like to offer my obeisances to my spiritual master, Sri Prabhupada, with a beautiful poem in which a disciple in the Sikh religion is glorifying his spiritual master. It's very beautiful. My mind longs for the blessed vision of my Guru. It cries out like a thirsty chikora bird. My thirst is not quenched, and I can find no peace without the vision of that blessed person. O Lord and Master, your face is most beautiful, and the sound of your words impart deep wisdom. It has been so long since this rainbird has had even a glimpse of water. Blessed is that land where you dwell, my dearmost friend and spiritual master. I give myself to you now and forever, O deliverer of my soul. When I could not be with you for just a moment, the dark age of Kali Yuga dawned for me. When will I meet you again, O beloved Lord and Master? I cannot endure the night, and sleep does not come to me without your audience. I will surrender everything to have your darshan once again. It was my extreme good fortune to meet you, O most saintly of all persons. And I will find you again in the eternal home where I am meant to dwell. There I will serve you forever, and I shall never be separated from you, even for an instant. I am forever your eternal servant, O my beloved Lord and Master. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. So we're continuing with our mini-series on stimulation for ecstatic love, and this will be part 127. And herein we'll continue discussing the dress and the attire of Srimati Radharani. In this regard, there's a nice mantra chanted by pujaris when dressing Radha and Krishna in the temples of Braj in Vrindavan. It's actually from the Rig Veda, 3.8.4. And this mantra was used in ancient times to offer clothes to the demigods during yajnas. But after the establishment of deities in Vrindavan, the tradition of Shodasha Upachara, meaning the worship of the deity with 16 articles, came to Braj, wherein such Vedic mantras were also introduced in the service of the deities. So, in essence, this mantra is a Vedic mantra and also part of our Vaishnava Agama. Yuva Shuvasha Parivita Agata. Just the first line, because it's a long mantra. But the translation is, I offer the finest clothes to hide your divine youth and beauty from the eyes of the society. O my divine Lord, please accept these clothes from me. And the pujaris offering this mantra to Radha and Krishna. I offer the finest clothes to hide your divine youth and beauty from the eyes of society. O my divine Lord, please accept these clothes from me. Rig Veda. Now regarding dressing Srimati Radharani in her attire and her ornaments, the dressing and the ornamentation of Srimati Radharani is actually done by her most confidential associates, like the Sakhis, the older girls, and the Manjaris, the younger girls. Regarding her Sakhis, the 8 Sakhis, dressing her, Rupa Goswami writes in Lalita Ashtakam, verse 2, I offer my respects unto Sri Lalita Devi, whose beautiful face mocks the brilliance of the full moon, whose eyes are ever restless like those of a startled doe, who is famous for her extraordinary expertise in the art of dressing Srimati Radhika, and who is the treasure house of unlimited feminine qualities. Lalita. And as regards the Manjaris, the younger girls dressing Sri Radha, Sri Rupa Goswami writes in Sri Radha Krishna Gunadesha Dipika, verse 195, about one such gopi. He writes, Palindri nama Sarindri Chitrini Chitra Karini, Mantrika Tantrika Amna Daivajan Daiva Tarini. The maidservant who dresses and decorates Sri Radha is called Palindri. The maidservant who dresses and decorates Sri Radha is called Palindri. And the one who decorates her is Chitrini. The two maidservants who keep her informed about destined future events, who are thus knowledgeable of the scripture delineating astrology, are Mantriki and Tantriki. The last parts of their names are very similar. So beautiful. But this dressing of Srimati Radharani doesn't take place just once a day as we might imagine. No, it takes place 10 times a day. Radharani changes her dress 10 times a day for the pleasure of Krishna. The following terms are those 10 times. Upon rising before dawn, then again after dawn, she changes clothes. Then when she cooks for Krishna, then she changes her clothes after cooking for Krishna. Then before going out to meet Krishna in the late morning, it's another set of clothes. Then after that she changes for bathing again into her bathing clothes. Then again changes after bathing, another set. Then when preparing to go out at night to meet Krishna. Then to wear clothes for bathing at night. And finally again after bathing at night. Such detail, we're so blessed. Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki. All very confidential knowledge, but by Srila Prabhupada's grace, we have access to this knowledge as a stimulation, hopefully, for ecstatic love. Now in the Bhakti Ratnakara by Narahari Chakravarti, we take the dust of his feet upon our heads. There's a nice dressing pastime where Krishna dresses Sri Radha. Usually it's the Sakyas, the Manjari, of course, Mother Yashoda also, but this is a pastime where Krishna dresses Sri Radha. We described it in detail like 4 years ago, but it's worth repeating here with some more details. So one time at Sringara-vata, Radha and Krishna were sitting under a famous banyan tree, and they were so absorbed in their pastimes that they lost track of time. We often say if you're doing something you like, time passes very quickly, and if you're doing something you don't like, time passes very slowly. So in the midst of those pastimes, who happened to appear but Vrinda Devi, along with Mother Purnamasi, who, as we know, is in charge of arranging all of Vrindavan's pastimes. So Vrinda Devi said to Radha and Krishna, "Dear ones, you're going to be late for the rasa dance this late afternoon." And Radharani, hearing that, immediately became very angry with Krishna. She said, "Krishna, you lost track of time. We're going to be late for the rasa dance. And all my gopi friends will miss out on your transcendental association." That's how she explained it. This is actually the compassionate nature of Srimati Radharani. Prabhupada describes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Radharani is such a great devotee, the greatest devotee, that she takes 10,000 times more pleasure engaging others in Krishna's service than doing the service herself. So by not being on time for the rasa dance, that means that her girlfriends aren't going to miss out on Krishna's association. This is her concern. Then she said to Krishna, "Krishna, just look at me." Because it was later in the day and her clothes had become wrinkled and her hair a little disheveled. So she said, "How am I going to show up for the rasa dance like this?" And Krishna smiled and he reassured her, "Devi, let me arrange things. Let me put on your makeup. Let me decorate you with all these gold, diamond, rubies, and sapphire ornaments. And I promise you, it won't take more than a minute." But then Lalita Saki spoke up, saying, "You know, Radha, he's just a boy. He's a cowherd. We gopis can do better than him." But Radharani, in in her heart of hearts, wanted Krishna to decorate her. So she said, "All right, Krishna, but do it nicely." So taking charge, Krishna asked a number of gopis to go to different places and procure various jewels, ornaments, bracelets, bangles, etc. So the gopis ran off. But they quickly came back with all kinds of paraphernalia. Vrindavan provided these things. The desire trees, you can go to a desire tree in Braj and ask for anything to be used in the service of Krishna. So maybe they went to some desire trees. And Krishna was very happy. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, every devotee has his worshipable deity, who he loves to serve in so many ways. And Krishna, although he's the supreme personality of Godhead, also has his worshipable deity. And who is that? Vrindavaneshwari, Srimati Radharani. So understandably, Krishna took a long time to decorate Sri Radha. He said he'd do it quickly, but with this unique opportunity, he was doing it very slowly, very carefully. And when he finished, just in your mind's eye see, when he finished, he stepped back. And all the gopis went, "Oh, so beautiful dressing you've done. You're a boy, but you have done such beautiful dressing." So then Vishaka whispered something in the ear of Lalita. And Lalita, who's, she's often very fiery, she stood up and said, "On this very day, under this banyan tree here at Sringara-vata, we declare that this cowherd boy Krishna is the best of all pujaris." Usually she's fiery, but here she's glorifying Krishna because Krishna made Radharani so beautiful. Then everyone looked at Radharani, amazed at her transcendental beauty, her effulgence, her divine qualities, and appreciated how expertly Krishna had decorated her with jewels and ornaments. So then Tungavidya, one of the Sakis, came forward and offered Srimati Radharani a mirror. So Radharani looked in that mirror, saw her reflection, and smiled. And just by her smile, everyone's heart became pacified. Wow. Just seeing Radharani smile, everyone became pacified. So then Radharani said, "Oh, we're late. Let's go for the rasa dance." So everyone, of course including Krishna, went over to a place called Nikunjavan, where other gopis were waiting impatiently for the rasa dance to begin. And when those gopis who had been waiting for Sri Radha looked at her, they said to each other, "Radharani looks especially beautiful today. Who dressed her?" So Lalita spoke up and said that Krishna had dressed her. So all those gopis smiled and agreed that indeed Krishna was the best pujari of all. Hare Krishna. What a wonderful pastime. They're all wonderful. Now moving on, some of you may remember last week we mentioned Srila Jiva Goswami's commentary on Ujjvala Nilamani 574, wherein he wrote, sometimes Sri Radhika takes on the role of Abhisarika. Abhisarika. And Abhisarika is a nayika, or rather a heroine, who is eager to meet her beloved and decides to meet him by leaving home at midnight. It's a specific term, at midnight, in the forest, lonely forest somewhere together. Now he went on to say the Abhisarika usually selects a moonless night for meeting Krishna, a dark night, and wears dark clothes as a camouflage. I mean, it's logical. It's a secret meeting, so doesn't want anyone to see, so dark nights, so dark clothes so no one can see. Now we discussed that. But I wanted to mention today that the Govinda Lilamrita 21.1 also describes Sri Radha in this role of Abhisarika. Therein it's stated, quote, "I remember Sri Radha in the late evening. She dresses herself in clothes suitable for the dark and light fortnight, because sometimes she meets when the moon's shining, for the pleasure of Krishna. She wears black clothes on the new moon day and white clothes on the full moon day. In accordance with Vrinda's advice, she takes shelter in a secluded bower on the banks of the Jamuna in the company of her Saki messenger. So more insight into this particular nature of gopis. And in verse, there's more nectar here. In verse 194 of Padyavali, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada reveals Lalita Devi's advice to Sri Radha in the mood of a abhisarika, as she prepares to go and meet Krishna on a dark night. He writes, this is Lalita speaking, O Sri Radha, put your feet softly on the ground as you walk. Cover your armlets and bangles with the end of your cloth, and most importantly, please maintain complete silence on the pathway. Else, if you open your mouth, then your moonbeam, like radiant teeth, will end the darkness of the world. I want to recite that again. O Sri Radha, put your feet softly on the ground as you walk. Cover your armlets and bangles with the end of your cloth. And most importantly, please maintain complete silence on the pathway. Else, if you open your mouth, her divine mouth, then your moonbeam, like radiant teeth, will end the darkness of the world. Wow. So, more detailed information about Radharani's dress and attire is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Gitavali. In the Vadashtaka Song 4, stanza 2, when he writes, Rakta Pata Vastra Nitamba Upari Shutta Ganti Duli Tya Kucha Yukopari Duli Muktamala Chittahari Shobhape. So beautiful. Upon her hips, she wears red silken cloth on which tiny bells are swinging. And upon her chest sways a lovely necklace of pearls. In this way, she looks so splendorous that she steals the heart of every beholder. Now, we can go a little deeper into the subject of Radha's dress and attire by referring to Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Nilimani, wherein he describes 16 decorations that she wears, specific decorations that she wears. And as I was researching this, I was thinking this information that's given by Rupa Goswami, 16 particular decorations that she likes, can be very useful for our pujaris in our movement who dress Radha and Krishna daily. By Prabhupada's grace, there's Radha and Krishna deities now being worshipped all over the world. So pujaris, listen carefully. Rupa Goswami lists 16 decorations that you can decorate Radharani with. So first of all, he says, Srimati Radharani is first nicely bathed. Then, the tip of her nose is decorated with a glittering jewel. He goes on. She wears exquisite blue garments. She wears a charming belt. She wears, her braids are nicely tied. She wears beautiful earrings. Her transcendental body is anointed with fragrant sandalwood paste. Her hair is always decorated with flowers. She wears a flower garland. She holds a lotus flower in her hand. She chews betel nuts. Her chin is decorated with little bunches of flowers, drawn with many musk dots. Her eyes are attractively anointed with black mascara. Her limbs are decorated with colorful designs and pictures. Her feet are splendidly decorated with what? We had whole classes on that. Red lac. And she wears graceful tilak marking. There you go, pujaris. I would like to conclude today with a description, a full description, of the transcendental form of Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani from the book Premam Bhoja Maranda by Srila Bhagavanath Das Goswami. A translation of the original Sanskrit, as described by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, reads as follows. Now a note here, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's similar descriptions of Radharani in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela are actually based on this book. But this is a more detailed account. So here we go. This is pure nectar. In the morning, Srimati Radharani's body is bathed in the nectar of compassion. In the afternoon, in the nectar of youth. And in the evening, in the nectar of luster itself. In this way, her bathing is performed, and her body becomes as brilliant as the Chintamani jewel. Her dress is composed of various kinds of silken garments, which may be compared to her natural shyness. Her beauty is more and more enhanced, being decorated with kumkuma, which is compared to beauty itself, and with blackish musk, which is compared to divine love. Her body is decorated with different colors. The kumkuma is red and the musk is black. Her ornaments embody the natural symptoms of ecstasy, trembling, tears, jubilation, stunning, perspiration, faltering of the voice, bodily redness, and dullness. In this way, the entire body of Radharani is bedecked with these 9 different jewels. Over and above this, the beauty of her body is enhanced by her transcendental qualities, which hang as a flower garland on her body. The ecstasy of love for Krishna is known as dhira and adhira, sober and restless. Such ecstasy constitutes the covering of Srimati Radharani's body and is adorned by camphor. Her transcendental anger toward Krishna is embodied as the arrangement of the hair on her head, and the tilak of her great fortune shines on her beautiful forehead. The earrings of Srimati Radharani are the holy names of Krishna, as well as the hearing of his name and fame. Her lips are always reddish due to the betel nut of affection, ecstatic affection for Krishna. The black ointment around her eyes is her tricky behavior with Krishna, brought about by love. Her joking with Krishna and gentle smiling is the camphor with which she is perfumed. She sleeps in her room with the aroma of pride, and when she lies down in her bed, the transcendental variety of her loving ecstasies is like a jeweled locket in the midst of her necklace of separation. Her transcendental breasts are covered by her sari in the form of affection and anger towards Krishna. She has a stringed instrument known as kachapi veena, which is the fame and fortune that actually dries up the faces and breasts of other gopis. She always keeps her hands on the shoulder of a gopi friend who is compared to her youthful beauty. And although she is highly qualified with so many spiritual assets, she is nonetheless affected by the Cupid known as Krishna. Thus, she is defeated. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami offers his obeisances to Srimati Radharani, taking a straw in his mouth. Indeed, he prays, O Gandharvika, Srimati Radharani, just as Lord Krishna never rejects a surrendered soul, please never reject me. Hare Krishna. Sri Raghunath Das Goswami ki. Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki. Hare Krishna. So thank you, Prabhus. Thank you for this opportunity to go through our scriptures, Srila Prabhupada's books and the books of our Goswamis, to learn about all these transcendental qualities of the divine couple, Krishna and Balaram and their associates and all of Vrindavan. So we have more nectar on the dress and attire of Srimati Radharani, which we'll share with you next week. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Shyama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, Mayapur Dham ki, Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Nitai Gaur Pimanandi, Jai Jai Sri Radhe Shyam. All glories, all glories, all glories.